name is Carolyn Mccullough. I'm reading Feed by M.T. Anderson. In 2008, this book was challenged by a middle school library in Vancouver for inappropriateness due to profanity and some sexual content. I, however, read this book in college and loved it. Alright, a little backstory probably to this one because I'm jumping in the middle of it. Everybody in the future is implanted with a little chip in their brain that is basically like a mini computer, and they constantly get messages through it, whether it be TV shows, ads, anything you can possibly think of goes right through this chip and directly into their brain. So it's like walking around with a computer in your head. This chapter is called Missing the Feed. I missed the feed. I don't know when they first had feeds, like maybe 50 or 100 years ago. Before that, they had to use their hands and their eyes. Computers were all outside their body. They carried them around outside of them, in their hands, like if you carried your lungs in a briefcase and opened it to breathe. People were really excited when they first came out with the feed. It was all da-da-da, this big educational thing, da-da-da, your child will have the advantage, encyclopedias at their fingertips, closer than their fingertips, etc. That was one of the great things about the feed, that you can be super smart without ever working. Everyone is super smart now. You can look things up automatic, like science and history, like if you wanted to know which battles of the Civil War George Washington fought in and shit. It's more now. It's not so much about the educational stuff, but more regarding the fact that everything that goes on the feed. All of the feedcasts and the instant news, that's on there. So there's all the entertainment I was missing without the feed. Like the girls who were missing all their favorite feedcasts. The show called Oh Wow Thing, which has all these kids like us who do stuff but get all pouty, which is what these girls go crazy for, the poutiness. But the braggest thing about the feed, the thing that made it really big, is that it knows everything you want and hope for, sometimes before you even know what those things are. It can tell you how to get them and help you make buying decisions that are really hard. Everything we think and feel is taken in by the corporations, mainly by data ones like FeedLink and OnFeed and American Feedware. And they make a special profile, one that's keyed just to you, and then they give it to their branch companies or other companies buy them, and they can get to know what it is we need. So all you have to do is want something, and there's a chance it will be yours. Of course, everyone is like, da-da-da, evil corporations. Oh, they're so bad. We all say that. And we all know they control everything. I mean, it's not great because who knows what evil shit they're up to. Everyone feels bad about that, but they're the only way to get all this stuff. And it's no good getting pissy about it because they're still going to control everything whether you like it or not. Plus, they keep like everyone in the world employed, so it's not like we could do without them. And it's really great to know everything about everything whenever we want, to have it just like in our brain, just sitting there. In fact, the thing that made me pissy was when they couldn't help me at all. So I was just lying there. I couldn't play any of the games on the feed. I couldn't chat anyone. I couldn't do a fucking thing except look at this stupid boat painting, which was even worse because now I saw that there was no one on the boat, which was even more stupid, and was kind of how I felt. All the sails were up and the rudder was, well, whatever rudders are, but there was no one on board to look at the horizon. The mall was really busy. There were a lot of crowds there. They were all buying this stuff, like the inflatable houses for their kids, and the dog massagers, and the tooth extensions that people were wearing. The white ones, which you slid over your real teeth, and they made your mouth just like one big single tooth going all the way across. Violet was standing near the fountain, and she had a real low shirt on to show off her lesion, because the stars of Oh Wow Thing had started to get lesions. So now people were thinking better about lesions, and lesions even looked kind of cool. Violet looked great in her low shirt, and besides that, she was smiling and really excited for her idea. For a second, we said hello and just laughed about all the stupid things people were buying. And then Violet, she pointed out that regarding legs to stand on, I didn't have much one because I was wheeling around in a wheelbarrow full of giant hot cross buns from Bun in a Barrow. I said, yum, yum, yum. And she was like, you ready? I asked her what her idea was. She said, look around you. I did. It was the mall. She said, listen to me. I listened. She said, I was sitting at the feed doctor's a few days ago, and I started to think about things. Okay, all right, everything we do gets thrown into a big calculation, like they're watching us right now. They can tell where you're looking. They want to know what you want. It's a mall, I said. They're also waiting to make you want things. Everything we've grown up with, the stories on the feed, the games, all of that. It's all streamlining into our personalities so we're easier to sell to. I mean, they do all these demographic studies that divide everyone up into a few personality types, and then you get ads based on what you're supposedly like. They try to figure out who you are and make you conform to one of their types for easy marketing. It's like a spiral. They keep making everything more basic so it will appeal to everyone, and gradually everyone gets used to everything being basic, so we're less and less varied as people, more simple. So the corps make everything even smaller. And it goes on and on and on. This was the kind of thing people talked about a lot. Like parents were going on about how toys were stupid now and they used to be good, and how everything on the feed had its price. And okay, it might be true, but this is also boring. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's the feed, so what? This is my project. She smiled and put her finger inside the collar of my shirt. Listen, she said, what I'm doing, what I've been doing over the feed for the last 2 days, is trying to create a customer profile that's so screwed no one can market to it. I'm not going to let them catalog me. I'm going to become invisible. I stared at her for a minute. She ran her finger along the edge of my collar so her nail touched the skin of my throat. I waited for an explanation. She didn't tell me any more, but she said to come with her. And she grabbed one of the nodules on my shirt. It was one of those nodule shirts. And she led me towards the Bedbrecker and Carl. We went to the store, and immediately our feeds were all completely Bedbrecker and Carl. We were bantered with all this crazy high-tech fun stuff they sold there. Then a guy walked up to us and said he could help us. I said I didn't know, but Violet was like, sure. Do you have those big searchlights? I mean, the really strong ones? Yeah, he said. We have those. He went over to some rack, and he took out those big searchlights off the rack. He showed us some different models. The feeds had specs. They showed us the specs while he talked. When he went in back to get another cheaper searchlight, I said to Violet, what's next? She whispered, complicating, resisting. Bedbrecker and Carl were bannering us again. It was, we've streamlined the Tesla coil for personal use. You can even wear it in your hair. With these new da-da-da, and relax, yawn, and slump, while our grease cyber massage beads travel up and down your back, guaranteed to make you, etc. like that. I was like, okay, huh? But the guy came back, and he had another searchlight. He told us, you can see shit real good with this one. I've got one of those in my up car. It's sometimes like, whoa, really? Whoa. There was this one time, and I was flying around at night, and I shined the light down at the ground to look up at the tops of all these suburb pods, and over the top of them, it looked like it was moving, like there was black goo. So I turned up the brightness, and I went down, and I shined it more bright, and it turned out the black moving goo was all these hordes of cockroaches. There were miles of them running all over the tops of domes. They kept on trying to get out of the light, so wherever you shined it would be this... I'd like to mount the light on my belly, Violet said. Would that be possible? He looked at her funny. With the swivel head? Sure, then I could swivel it. What's this for? Something special, she said in this low voice. She rubbed my arm up and down sexily. He was like, whoa, I can't even think. He gave me the thumbs up. She winked at me. It was kind of a turn on. She got him to send her all of these feed stats for the lamp, but she didn't buy it. She didn't have it mounted. Instead, she thanked him in a real lot. And then she took me out of the store and I was starting to get the picture and think it was all pretty funny. We kept going from place to place, asking for weird shit we didn't buy. She took me to a rug store and a store with old chests and pieces of 8 and shit. And we went to a store and she asked them to explain the world of Bleakazoid action figures, which is a dumbass name if I ever heard one. But they explained it all. It was mainly, they were these muscular people from a parallel world, which is usually how it is. We didn't buy anything. We ran through the big hallway with her tapping her head and saying, "Hear that? The music?" It was pop songs. They have charts that show which chords are most thumbs up. Music is marketing. They have lists of key changes that get 13-year-old girls screaming. There's no difference between a song and an advertising jingle anymore. Songs are their own jingles. Step lively over here. We went to a clothing store and she held up all these stupid dresses. And the girl there was like, "I'm helping a weird kid, so I'm gonna be really fake." So she kept smiling fake and nodding really serious at all the dresses Violet held up. And she was all, "That will look great." And Violet said, "I don't know, do you think? He's pretty wide in the chest." The girl looked at me and I was frozen. So I said, "Yeah, I work out." Violet asked me, "What are you? What's your cup size?" I shrugged and played along. Like 9.5, I guess. That's my shoe size. Violet said, "I think he'd like something slinky, kind of silky." I said, "As long as you can stop me from rubbing myself up against the wall the whole time." "Okay," said Violet, holding up her hands like she was annoyed. "Okay, the chemise last week was a mistake." I practically started to laugh snot into my hand. We went to some more clothing stores, and we looked at all these dumb sweaters and pretended we liked them. And then we looked at makeup that she wouldn't wear, a gravel tumbler, and we went to DVS Pharmacy Superstore, and she comparison shop for home